Hello everyone, this is Serious Trivia, and today we're continuing our Age of Empire 4 single-player campaign with the Mongol Empire. Last time we did the first battle at the Khalkha River in the year 1223, and for the second battle here we're actually moving back in time. We're going back to 1213, and the battle is at the Great Wall. And this is actually quite interesting because they're talking about the 10 years before Mongols' first assault on Europe. Genghis Khan descended on his most ambitious target yet, the Great Wall of China. This is the first war between the Mongols and the Jin dynasty of China, not a Han ethnicity group, but rather Nujin, which is related to the later and probably more well-known Qing dynasty, the Manchus. And this is because throughout the last 200 years, China has been constantly assaulted from the north by nomadic tribes, first by the Qidan, which formed the Liao dynasty, and then the Liao dynasty was wiped out, or at least marginalized, by the Jin dynasty, which is a group of Nujin nomadics, and now we're going to be entering into the years where the Mongols are descending on this land yet again. So you can think of it as one nomadic tribe replacing another, as China, at least Han ethnicity China, the Song dynasty, has already retreated far south to the Yangtze River. And I'm actually curious as to what enemies the game is going to have us fight, because I believe the whole purpose of this campaign is to have the Mongols sort of fight all the existing factions in the game. The Rus is a faction in the game, so we started with Khalkha River. I wonder if they're just going to have us fight the Chinese as an enemy here, which I know has some leeway there, because the way the game did the Chinese, it's more generic. Instead of the era system, there is the addition of the dynasty system to the Chinese as a faction in the game. So it doesn't really represent a certain dynasty. There's different bonuses you can get in multiplayer with the different dynasty systems. We might look into that in the future, and hopefully there will be an actual Chinese campaign in the future as well. But for the time being, let's first jump into the mission and see how the game presents this event.
On the banks of the Khalkha River, thousands of Rus were killed by the Mongols. The hunters had become the hunted. But in the years leading up to this Mongol raid in the west, Genghis Khan had been focusing his attacks on the east and the Qin dynasty of northern China. Controlling wealthy lands and trade routes, Qin cities overflowed with riches. In 1210, the Qin's new ruler, seeing Genghis Khan as a threat, demanded that he swear loyalty to him. Genghis Khan refused. To the Qin, this defiance was a declaration of war. The Qin had a huge army, and their territory was protected by vast fortifications, known today as the Great Wall. The Mongols had never faced a more formidable enemy. Genghis Khan knew the only way to defeat the Qin would be to take their heavily defended capital city, Zhengdu, on the other side of the Great Wall. Genghis Khan would be committing his people to a long, hard war. Would the rewards be worth the cost? For answers, he looked to the gods. Climbing a sacred mountain, he prayed to the eternal sky. After 4 days, he received his answer. The Mongols would be victorious. With divine reassurance, the Mongol army set out across the steppe. They must break through the Great Wall to destroy the Qin dynasty and further expand the Mongol Empire.
Okay, once again, I feel like the historical facts between a lot of these videos are a little bit shaky. So this is the first assault of the Mongols into the Jin dynasty. And as this states, his path would lead him to Zhangjiakou. Zhangjiakou is actually the site, uh, outside of Beijing. It's a mountainous path. It's one of the gates of the Great Wall. The actual place that he fought at here is a place called Yehuling, the Wild Fox Cliff. And this is a natural strategic point. Zhangjiakou is an opening in this cliff area leading to a mountainous pass through two different mountain ranges to the northwest of Beijing that protects the city. And there are many Great Wall components here. And we say that because the Great Wall wasn't built in a day. It was built by various dynasties throughout different periods. The Jin dynasty did their part. I think they built about 3,000 kilometers of the wall to protect them from other nomadic factions, as they themselves were a nomadic faction that came from the north. And once they got into northern China, they kind of adapted to a non-nomadic lifestyle. The Jin dynasty has been here for about 100 years at this point, actually, and they have fully embraced a lot of the lifestyle of the Han ethnicity group. Large portion of their population that they rule over are Han Chinese, and they pretty much adapted the Great Wall strategy. And the Jin dynasty here is much bigger and stronger than the Mongols at this point. We have to realize that we are in the year 1213. In 1206, Genghis Khan completed his conquest of the various Mongol-related tribes out in the deserts and formed the Mongol Empire. But the Mongol Empire at the time basically is treated as a vassal state to the Jin dynasty. And they had to present annual tributes to the Jin court. They have to basically bring livestock, fur, hawks, money, transport it to the Jin dynasty every year as a tribute. And every 3 years, the Jin dynasty will launch this attack on the Mongols as sort of a purge to curl the population. It was very brutal. And this was a policy that has been in place for generations. I believe Genghis Khan's great-grandfather, or perhaps grandfather, I might misremember that, was actually killed by the Jin court. Very brutal execution. It's sort of crucifixion, but instead of on a cross, like a Western idea, they built this wooden horse, and they basically put your limbs where the horse limb are. You're kind of like draped over the horse, and they would nail you into this wooden horse. It's a very brutal form of death. And this war was kind of justified as sort of revenge for his ancestors as well. But the real breaking point here is not some sort of 4-day prayer. That's nonsense. Historically speaking, what happened this time is Genghis Khan feels very strong. The year we have to go back to is probably 1211, 5 years after forming the Mongol Empire. I think just previously, the year before, he was personally leading the tribute caravan to present the tribute to the Jin court. He went to this northern city and met with a royalty member who was an imperial uncle at the time, and he's called Wei Wang. I believe his name is Wan Yan Ji Hong. I forgot his actual, it's 4-character name. All the nomadic tribe in this area, both the Xianbei and the Nujin, like to use 4-character names. So it's kind of hard to remember, but I know the royalty family is Wan Yan Shi, so their surname is Wan Yan. And I think he had Ji, I can't recall his exact name, but he was the Wei Wang. Not the same Wei as the Three Kingdom Wei, a different character, but he was Wei Wang, and he was the imperial uncle, and he kind of hosted Genghis Khan to receive the tribute. And during this meeting, Genghis Khan kind of recognized him as this useless person, like absolutely not talented and just a common folk in essence. He didn't respect him at all, even though historically speaking, he was recorded to be very tall, this Wei Wang, and looked pretty handsome, but brutally assessed as this useless leader. He was fine as imperial uncle, but what happened was his nephew would die in the year 211. And once he died, he had no sons. So the court had to pick one of the royalties to take over as emperor of the Jin dynasty. And this uncle, Wei Wang, was picked. So he became the new emperor. And once you have an exchange of emperors at the dynasties, you sent out envoys to all your vassals to tell them you have a new leader, you have a new emperor that rule over you. And when the envoy to the Mongol Empire arrived to Genghis Khan at this point already didn't want to continue to be a vassal. So he kind of didn't host this envoy even in his grand tent where he's supposed to kind of kneel down and receive the edict saying, "This is your new emperor." He hosted the envoy at his hunting ground. And he was on the horse, refusing to get down to even bow, and just told him, "So who's the new emperor?" Right? And when he heard that the new emperor is this Wei Wang, who he had met a couple years ago on the trip where he paid tribute, he kind of laughed it off and said, "I thought they said the emperor of the Central Plains, or Zhongyuan, or the area where China is on, had to be mandated by heaven," right? This is kind of the statement that's been around since the Qin, the Han dynasty, and it's kind of influenced everyone, even the nomadic tribes around the region. People know this statement. And he's like, "I met the guy. This guy, there's no way heaven would pick him. And therefore, I will not bow to him. I will not pay tribute to him. Our diplomatic ties are finished." So the Mongols at that point already broke off all relationship with the Jin dynasty. And that was sort of a declaration of war right there. The Jin dynasty did not take kindly to that, but this new emperor was rather inept. And in the beginning, he was not prepared for war. He basically had this huge desert outpost called Wushabao. It's on the borders of Mongolia and the Jin dynasty, far away from the Great Wall. But I guess you could consider it kind of an outpost a little bit beyond a certain portion of the old Great Wall. But this place was raided by Zhe Biet, who we talked about in the last campaign battle, the general who actually led that battle too. Zhe Biet is one of the Four Hounds. This is a nickname given to four of the vanguard generals that served Genghis Khan. And he was known as the Will of the Arrow, the guy who shot Genghis Khan's horse way back. But his raid force took this fortress quite easily because the Jin dynasty was unprepared for this assault, even though the relationship had already broken. And at this time, the forces on both sides, Genghis Khan had less than 100,000 men, close to it, but less than that. And the Jin as a whole, the whole country, it would encompass pretty much all of northern China. You can think of the Yangtze River as sort of this breaking point. Everything above that extending towards modern-day Korea, and then out west towards the Xinjiang Tibetan region, but not into the mountains. The mountains was always this difficult place to take, but it's a far-stretching empire. They had over 1 million in their army, and they were this giant power at this time. So the size of the forces on both sides, it was not even. But because of the success at this Battle of Wushabao, where this giant fortress that was seen as the outpost on the borders was taken rather quickly, Genghis Khan actually changed his plan. He had thought he needed all 10,000 men, not 10,000 men, 100,000 men, I'm sorry, 10,000 人, so 100,000 men to attack the Jin capital, which is the central capital, Zhongdu. The word Zhongdu means central capital because both the Jin and the Liao and even some of the Wei kingdoms used a 5 capital system. There will be a northern capital, southern capital, western, eastern, and a central capital. And the central capital for the dynasty of Jin would be where modern-day Beijing sits. And that's the target that Genghis Khan's going for. So he thought he needed to concentrate his force to break through places like Zhangjiakou. There's also there's a Juyuanguan, which is the last kind of fortification right outside of Beijing. But then after taking this first one super easily, he divided his force up into thirds. He took the main force to continue down to this place, Zhangjiakou. and he sent a detachment to attack the western capital, which is in modern-day Datong. It's a little bit west of Beijing. And then he sent another detachment east to go towards the eastern capital. Very ambitious. And those raid parties did really, really well, mainly because the general in charge of guarding the western capital, I think his name is Hu Shahu, he just ran. He took the army and was like, I'm out of here. And he ran back to the capital, the main capital, and left the western part of the empire vulnerable to raid. And they raided everywhere there and actually rounded back to meet with the main forces here in Zhangjiakou for the fight. So you can think of this battle as a crucial turning point in the entire history of this area. I don't want to say China, but it does influence a huge part of what happened to China because the Mongols would eventually take over the whole thing. But for the Mongol Empire, in terms of battling into geographically what is China today, this is a huge turning point because after losing that giant fortress, the Jin dynasty woke up and they sent another imperial family member. I think his name was Wanyan Jiujing, also the Wanyan clan, with 400,000 men. Giant army, 4 times the size of the Mongol force, half of it infantry, half of it cavalry, and they went to this natural geography-wise, super good defensive choke point. It's a mountain pass that goes into Beijing, and this is actually the place where most of the Winter Olympic in the next year will be held, Zhangjiakou. Basically because there's some mountains here, so a lot of the skiing events will be hosted here. It's right outside of Beijing, even though the host city is Beijing, but it's kind of split between these two sites. And there's a lot of infrastructure being built here right now, modern day wise. But in the old days, this was the natural choke point to the north for Beijing to defend. Beijing is often selected as a capital city due to this massive mountain range system that runs to the north and west part of the city. And then the east part is Bohai Bay, so it's water. And then to the south leads to the central plain. So it's kind of a strategic defensive point in the north. And the reason why they use this as a capital city is because it has access to water, so good for trade. But you can also put a big military force here, and it actually guards the whole empire, right? It's kind of the defensive point. That way you don't have to waste your army. You can both guard the capital and the frontier by having your city designed this way. And Zhangjiakou is such a good place for this. Unfortunately, Wanyan Jiujing, the imperial family member they sent to lead this army, didn't want to stand behind the walls and guard it. He thought, I had 4 times the manpower, and I represent this grand, faction that's proud. We're going to march out beyond this natural choke point called Yehulin, and I'm going to lay out my army right in front of it. And not only am I going to do that, I'm not going to attack the Mongols right away. I'm going to send this delegate, my second in command, to go to the Mongol tents and ask them, face to face, why are you rebelling against your liege before we fight? Just to be polite here. And this second command thought his commander was crazy and was arguing with his commander the whole time about not sending him over and also about leaving troops behind in the, pass so that you had a natural defensive point. There's no reason why they need to march out and fight the Mongols head on. And even if they want to do that, they shouldn't just lay in a defensive position. They should charge their cavalry into the incoming Mongols, who should be tired. But his commander did not listen to him and sent him out there anyways. So he went to the Mongol tent and immediately bowed down to Genghis Khan and says, I want to surrender. Because he was not a Nujin ethnicity group. He was not the same group as the Jin dynasty people. He's actually from the old Liao dynasty. He was a surrender general. He was a Tujue as his ethnicity group. So he said, I'm not dying for these idiots. I'm going to lead you guys to the main camp. I'll tell you guys how the armies are laid out. So the Mongol cavalry followed him directly back to the army camps that was laid out in front of this pass. And Wanyan Jiujing thought he was reporting back. And he's coming back with the entire Mongol cavalry on his back. And they charged the central tent. and completely shattered the central command system of the army. And you had this 400,000 men running cluelessly outside, getting absolutely slaughtered right outside this natural defensive point. And this army, not many people got got alive to escape back to the mountain pass, because there's not a really good escape route. And because this battle pretty much wiped out almost half of the Jin dynasty's armies, it pretty much set up for a future conquest of the Jin by the Mongols. There's going to be another big push, because after they broke through this pass, they went to another pass closer to Beijing, Juyongguan, the last pass, the last defensive point before Zhongdu falls. There they had a little bit more difficult time. They had to use more of the feign retreat that we saw in the last battle to lure the enemy out by leaving behind some of the horses and treasures on the road. And only then were they able to take that pass, but they did lose quite a bit more men in that battle. So by that time, they went to Zhongdu, scared the capital, and decided to pull back and call this campaign a very grand success. And indeed it was, because you imagine 100,000 men comes down here, absolutely crush an army of 400,000, slaughtering most of them, putting the fear to the emperor. And this emperor, who is quite useless as we mentioned, will actually get assassinated very soon due to this defeat by the actual general who is guarding the West Palace, the West capital, who retreated, and then leading to a puppet emperor, and the entire political system of the Jin dynasty will start to fall apart, following the catastrophic defeat in this exact battle here. So let's see how we play it out in the game.
The Qin fortress of Shangjaku blocked Genghis Khan's path to the Great Wall. Seeing the strength of the defenses at the front of the fortress, Genghis Khan dispatched his scouts to seek out an alternate approach. Mongol warfare relied heavily on the mobility of mounted scouts. They could travel at high speed, explore the terrain, and gather information on enemy weaknesses.
I mean, you would think that
The Khan's swift riders advanced up the steep mountain, discovering a hidden path above the Qin fortress.
after a couple thousand years... Oh, there's a wolf. Gotta kite it. Oh, he can't fire while moving, so we have to kite manually. Not too bad, didn't get hit. Yeah, you would think after thousands of years of building fortresses in the area and Great Walls, there would not be this path, which historically, obviously there was no path here. Ooh, it's treasure. This is like you getting distracted in a side quest situation. I might have to go kill the other wolves, actually. Like the main army... Or maybe the main army can do that, actually. I don't need to do... Ooh, ooh, ooh.
The Qin had deployed patrols on the mountain above their fortress.
The wolves are killing
But the
them.
Mongol scouts, although isolated from their army, had the advantage
Are
of
those
speed.
trained wolves? Or no, they're getting attacked. They're getting attacked. No, they're not. Are they? They are. Wait. I don't want to... It's meleeing for me, right? It's not actually shooting. I don't think we're actually supposed to fight this many spear units here. Maybe lead them to the wolves? Right, we're not even pulling out our bow. We're using our sword, which does not make any sense. Attack move just has us on our sword. Seems really foolish. I'm still trying to get used to a lot of controls. I mean, we clearly had a bow to fight the wolves. I guess our purpose is to scout, not to fight. We keep scouting until we find the location. Well, they still have a wolf following them. Yeah, we just have to loop around them, I think. That's the goal. You would think those people would report back, be like, they found this path that's open right above our fortress. Okay. We found the path.
The Mongol riders discovered an embankment leading to the back of the fortress. Here they found far fewer Qin defenses than at the front.
Did they just call the Jin
Learning of the
Qin?
weak defenses at the back of the fortress,
I got stabbed.
Genghis Khan saw his opportunity to attack. The Mongols began their ride to battle.
Okay, those are horse archers. Oh, we gotta micro these guys back first.
If the Mongols took the fortress, they could freely advance on the Great Wall.
We're actually playing as Genghis Khan this time. Basically just be a special character in the game with more health and 1 or 2 active abilities. Charge arrow, signal arrow that increase the armor of nearby units, including combat 3, boost their speed. Raiding arrows, makes the building catch fire faster, increase attack rate of nearby range units, including combat 50%. Defense arrow, increase the armor by 3. So defense arrow and charge arrow, very similar. A little bit worse, but the requirements age 3 were in the first age. Right, so the Mongols have this special ability that is unique to the faction, even in multiplayer, is where if you have buildings burning, they will give you resources. Alright, I gotta figure out what units we have this time before we start going. So those are our Mangudai range cavalry. We have some 20 early horsemen, light cavalry, and this would be our heavy one, early lancer. Okay, so let's just divide that by group, from range to light to heavy. I should have him accessible to. I'm gonna put them with the light cavalry, I think. Wait, let me pull them out. I don't know the control to add to group. It just replaces the group at this point. Okay, there we go. Because I feel like they're gonna be melee, which is kind of sad. All right, we're gonna send the range ones first, because I know there's a couple wolves up there and a couple spearmen. We can kite those out pretty effectively with these. Right, the fallacy of 100,000 men can sneak past a mountain pass to get through the Great Wall and ruin a dynasty. Alright, that's done. Where are those spearmen? Picked on our scouts, stabbed them once. There we go. You gotta stab. I should just pull back. Attack move doesn't actually make sense. If you do attack move, they don't move, they just attack. Because someone's in target. Alright, they're good. Let's keep using these. Yeah, gotta get used to the controls for the game. Like, it's definitely a bit dated. Like, you cannot kind of stretch out their formation when you right click. It just sort of gives you a direction and it auto sets the formation. You could obviously break stuff like this, but even then it's kind of weird. Oh, there we go. We just basically kite away. It's pretty effective, and I guess you can do some of the StarCraft microing where you like shield the injured unit in the middle. I saw some archers over there, so I think we're gonna need our cavalry for this portion. Maybe even have the Khan charge in first. But there's also spearmen, so let's see what we can do. If it's archer first, it's gonna be a little weird. What happened to our vision? Maybe the scout had more vision. than we do right here. Yeah, archers first. So I might actually just send the Khan in because he can get revived. It's a little bit cheap. All the units can revive the Khan, so Genghis Khan falling down, it's fine. Charge! Charge! I'm an idiot. Alright, gonna pull the 2 over here, gonna pull the 3 over here. Revive me! Alright, revived. Wait, move up, move up. Alright, got the attack speed up. Alright, let's raid this encampment together. Oh, they got towers. Let's go. Burn it down.
The Mongols burned the enemy building, claiming valuable spoils.
It will show up a fire icon, and that's probably when we should stop. Alright, we're gonna get on them first and then attack, just so we can kill some of the range units as well. Oh, 2 that way. There's a keep. It's actually hitting us pretty hard. Gotta burn down. UI's a little bit. It kind of blocks the health. It's kind of bad design. Like, if we're like this, we can't even see how much health is left. Getting money. Burning it down. Let's burn everything. That should be a blacksmith building. That should be the barrack, actually. Oh.
The Mongols sacked the fortress of Shangshaku, ensuring that they would not be attacked from behind as they advanced on the Great Wall. With the Qin fortress posing no further threat, Genghis Khan called on his people to bring in their mobile camp.
Oh, right. We actually get to have some buildings.
The Mongols needed a base close to the Great Wall. They targeted the Qin village of Yangchang.
These are actually our buildings. They're in tents. Alright. We're gonna burn down these buildings and get resources from them. Those are villagers, I guess? Pastures generate sheep over time? That's lovely. I guess we're not unpacking here. We're unpacking over there. This is a good place too. I see stone. Stone's like very important for the Mongols. Let's see what buildings we actually have. The Gur, which is just like the tent, barrack housing, pasture, okay. Nothing too crazy. Let's call them 5. These are spearmen's. Those are archers, I believe. And then I guess we can have like a 8 will be all units. So we're supposed to unpack here. That makes more sense. So let's unpack here. Villagers, go take care of sheep. So pastors would just generate sheep. Okay, we should get a barrack out here to build units. Probably closer over here. We'll scout up ahead. There might be a couple more buildings we can burn down. Do you guys not get into 8? Wait. There's an outpost tower up ahead. Everyone 8? There we go. Two go this way, three go this way. Alright, we're gonna stay here for a little bit. Oh, they cannot. Right, we need the grand tent, or else they can't drop the supplies anywhere. I guess that's the thing. Oh, town center. I'm not familiar with Mongol buildings. This is the first time we actually had buildings. I'm gonna pull them a little bit closer to the main building. Ah, this is a research building. Do they turn supplies here or where? That's the thing. Scouts can carry animal carcasses, bring them. Oh, they do turn in here, so building that's here, fine.
Nearby Qin villages began sending attacks, hoping to weaken Genghis Khan's army.
Don't we have a barrack? Yeah, we put that down here. Let me hotkey some of these. I actually want hotkey buildings rather than units. Right, we need to build the oval, which is our key building actually. It's gonna take 150 wood. We have enough. Has to be built on top of a stone resource. Like stone pretty much give away where the Mongols are in the game. Double the rate of cutting trees. I want that. I have so much gold. Carrying armor, hunted meat, increased by 20, gathering rate. Yes, let's scouts. That's why I don't really care for. The stone be passively picked up by the oval. And there's an influence zone which you can use to I don't need this many on food. Which you can use to get stuff. I can build an outpost to increase our defenses. I need stables. Okay, we're getting raided. I'm gonna get our economy off the ground. Alright. Spearmen, upgrade harden. We need landmark buildings to upgrade the age, which I think we want to do. Deerstone provides speed aura, act as market, can build traders. It's probably not going to be a lot of trading. We're going to build the Deerstone. It will have like all sorts of boosts giving us speed. I don't know where actually I should place it. I'm going to put it here. Don't worry about cramping the streets. Doesn't actually... You can always move through the streets. There's no more building blockage design in Age of Empire 4. I need a few of these. Oh, the stone can have upgrades for how many you can recruit. You can do twice speed recruitment. 110 food. It's pretty pricey actually. Every 90 seconds we get one. So that's our only way. So I want more pastures. And probably, let's see, 8 people on wood. We need more citizens. Let's see, you're done. That's a big building. That's gonna take a while. Do that one. Let's see, 2 people here, 2 people here. 3 people here. There's no more animal carcass decay. Alright, so there's gonna be 9 people doing food. It's fine. Stones passively acquired. We're getting new cavalry units. It's 2 and 8. Oh. Go, 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 go. I think I grabbed the villager by accident. Alright, we're gonna go raid. Let's see. I don't think I want that many spearmen. I'll get a couple more of these. Let's go destroy a couple of villagers. Seems to be one right ahead of us. They have cavalry. Is that an imperial official? I think so. I think they're here to collect taxes, tax gold and stuff for the Chinese faction. This is a good way to get resources, I guess. Alright, let's go north.
By destroying the Qin village, the Mongols had stopped the attacks from its garrison.
Villagers cannot stop. If we have extra, we can build more pastures. Send 3 over there. And keep pumping them out here. Get a backup army going. Let's go north. A new age begins. We get a new active raiding arrow. That means our landmark finished. I'll take a look at it actually. Yemstone. It basically provides speed aurora in this circle, so like our cavalry's faster here. Let's move up. Fight, 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 fight. Wait. That's not a building to destroy. That could be a market to pick up, actually. Trade posts, right? Send traders. So there are trading sites. We could have gone with the other landmark building. But maybe there's a marketplace building we can build now? Don't stop. There's no population limit, which is kind of interesting. I guess maybe for the campaign it doesn't matter. Like there's no houses to be built. Maybe the Mongols don't have that restriction? We'll see. Make sure we're still pumping out units. Ooh, we got new options here. Increase the armors of these units. Got 19 people on wood. I thought I had 12 here. We're fine. We're getting not fine. Getting shredded by archers. We're out of frontline cavalry, as you can see. That's okay. We built some back at home. Kill the villagers. There's a couple scouts that we saw earlier. Help us out. Let's speed things up here. Yeah, we kept this group here because I know we're getting raided from the other villages. Ignore the spearmen, kill the archers. Yeah, they'll win. Is this village not destroyed? It's still marked on the map. Still something here. Is there a crossing? No. Alright, this village is not destroyed. 8 of 9 buildings? Did I miss something? Here? Gold mine? That's a mine building. There's actually a gold mine here. Maybe we need to send some villagers. Oh, they built the yamstone. We got 1 idol. We got 6 idol? Excuse me? It is a stone building. Alright, we're gonna walk our guys back. Throw them into here. There's gold and stone, so we want to build an oval here. Blacksmith Market Town Center. Right, so I can expand out. First, let's get a couple archery ranges here as well. Bar you. Do 2 of them as well. We can build a gur, I guess. Closer to the trees, it would be slightly more efficient, but not a big deal. Let's get that trade caravan going. Yeah, he's safe. Our army moved back together. Getting here. I'm gonna find a patch of tree that's slightly safer, I guess. I could build a town center in this area too, but I think all I need is like a gur, and I can collect gold. That's passive anyways. I would need a group of... Right, you guys can just all come here. Yeah, we are missing gold now. Alright, let's go. Let's go finish the other village off. Yep, the gur is good for that. And we'll keep building units here just to have a defensive force at base in case people come raid us. This is a big enough army. Let's go down. Marketplace open. Yes. You back to work. I need 100 gold. Return your goods. That's our main target over there, but let's finish the villages off first. Optional quest. Stop the raiding. Arm. Yeah, I don't mind taking damage. We're just gonna out-econ them. Alright, we got no one idle, that's good. I should build the blacksmith, start upgrading our units. Caravan. Alright. Let's go destroy the main city. We'll grab all the units because we don't need defense anymore. Oh? Last raid party? Hold on, fight. Caravan's out. Good. I wonder how it works, actually. I don't know how caravan work in the game. I think this is the right play. I think that's... I don't know, actually. We'll see how they figure it out. Alright, we're losing men here for some reason. Getting attacked, of course. Let's charge. Oh, it's the outpost tower. Okay. Well, the Mongol horde has arrived. We're gonna break in here first, and then that way we can damage the archers at the same time. Burn it down. It's a wild boar. Oh, I see stone. Do I build more oval? Boars are strong, actually. They're very tanky in the game. Did we finish our goal here? Are all the buildings destroyed? Doesn't seem like it, right? It's not giving it to us yet. Did we miss something? There's a lot of boars. Maybe cross the bridge? But I feel like it's this area, right? Oh, this house. My gosh. We're about to hit pop cap, which is totally fine. I guess I'll just go heavy into the cavalry now. Upgrade all the gear for the units. Is trade actually happening? Oh, it is. Okay, we have one idle worker.
Yanchong fell to the Mongols, and nothing now stood between Genghis Khan and the Great Wall.
Alright, let's go take the wall.
It was time to face the Qin head-on at the Great Mountain Pass at Juyong.
Juyongguan, the last pass before Beijing. It's very tanky. I wonder if the villagers will get killed by these boars. We'll worry about it later.
In order for Genghis Khan's assault to go as planned, he would need to move his base closer to the Great Wall.
Do we really need to though? Oh,
Fortunately, the
we can
Mongols
actually move
specialized
everything.
in the construction of mobile camps and could easily pack their holdings
have
and
to?
move to a new location.
Right, we can actually build battering rams. I think our infantry can do that. One at a time. Everyone help. All the infantry can help. Wow. Group project. Oh, oh, oh. Fight, fight, fight. Alright, pop cap reached. That's good. We don't have to build it, but I guess we can try it out. I know it's pretty good at bashing down buildings. I mean, that's what it's designed for. Let me click on infantry. Oh, pop cap reach even for battering ram, so that's not gonna happen. It's fine. One's enough. Alright, Udu's going. Let me farm. Let's go. You can also garrison units inside in case archers come pick them off. I think this has such good defense against range. It's like does 1 damage to this. So it's like 900 arrows will kill this. But it's obviously bad against melee. Yeah, if we lose some units, it's fine. We'll just build more of the rams. But I don't think we need to do the optional mission. It's not like there's a reward for it. Charge! Ooh, Guandao. He auto found his right target actually. Actually fight the units. Let's give everyone the attack speed of range units. We have to break this to fight these, or can we actually shoot them? No, we actually... Oh, we can actually hit them. Okay. They were just underneath the gate. Bash it down. Oh, infantry can't do anything. Okay. Build more. Build another one for us too. Everyone's like, let's circle around the builders. Alright, got some backup. Got queued up. This is a ceremony to build siege weapons. Alright, we'll get the optional one done. And we'll wait for our cavalry to show up.
The warriors of the grassland stormed the Great Wall. The formidable barricade, thought insurmountable, finally bent to the will of Genghis Khan.
Well, like I said, Jungguan did not fall like this. Let's finish building that, can we? They were pretty committed to defending it, but then the Mongols had a feigned attack, and when they retreated, they thought Jungguan decided to come out and charge out, and it kind of ruined them. Where's our cavalry? Back up, back up. It's over. I think all we have to do is destroy the keep now. We'll send the battering ram on it. Alright.
The the great keep at Juyong Pass burned to the ground, giving the Mongols a secure route into the heart of Qin territory. As pillars of smoke billowed from the mountain pass, Genghis Khan charged forward into new lands and on to his ultimate goal, the wealthy Qin capital of Zhongdu.
Which he surrounded and forced a peace negotiation, took some treasures, and then went back. And then on to the next campaign into the Jin later, and which is why he went west after that, didn't finish the Jin off in one go. But this was nice. Finally got to build some bases. We saw... Oh, actually, I don't know if we actually saw any of these. Let's see. A page from history. The Kuratai. In 1206, at a gathering of tribe known as the Kuratai, the young Mongol chieftain Temujin, the name of Genghis Khan, would be confirmed as Genghis Khan, right? The foundation of the Mongol Empire after uniting all the tribes. Ruler of the newly united Mongol nation. Kuratai was a pivotal event that affected the fate of the whole Mongol realm. At these meetings, Khans were chosen, traitors were sentenced, and the wars were set in motion. From every corner of the steppe, people under Mongol rule gathered at the heart of the Mongolian homeland to have their say. There were festivities too. The sports of wrestling, archery, and horse racing would be played alongside the politics of the parliament. Kuratais would endure to the end of the Mongol Empire and will leave their indelible mark on the future of the horde. Okay, we saw this one. This was the one in the beginning, so we'll skip this. And we get a little introduction to Mongol horses.
The Mongol Empire was one of the largest the world had ever known. This couldn't have been achieved without the hardiness and endurance of the Mongol horse. The Mongol horse was the empire's main mode of transport. From the extreme heat of the Gobi Desert to the harsh sub-zero temperatures of Eastern Europe, it had to be adaptable to any type of condition. Professor Deljaborgin is an expert on this breed.
The Mongolian steppe is very cold in winter and very hot in summer. So Mongolian horse has very thick coat and long hair and very hard hoofs.
Left untrimmed and unshod, their hooves are perfect for crossing all types of terrain. And by feeding themselves on what was naturally available from the land, the army was freed from carrying additional fodder on campaign.
In winter, it can paw off the snow and eat the grass underneath.
But it wasn't just their versatility that made them invaluable. It was also their ability to travel great distances quickly, made possible by a unique fifth gate. The fifth gate is an energy-efficient pace that enables the Mongol horse to travel at a steady speed for long periods of time. And the running style is almost bounce-free, meaning a warrior could endure longer rides and even sleep whilst on the move. Today's Mongolian crossbreeds still have this ability. But like any horse, carrying a person at speed couldn't be kept up indefinitely. This meant that before the horse became tired, the rider could switch to a fresh one.
When they train the horse, they just change it on the move from one saddle to another saddle.
By repeatedly switching horses, a mounted warrior could travel vast distances much faster than conventional armies. With their speed, adaptability, and endurance, the Mongol horse was the engine that drove the Mongol army to victory.
Alrighty, that was a nice little snippet. And I think something that a lot of gamers forget when they play games with cavalry units is cavalry units did not have one horse. You could have 3-4 horses. You can't really, your war horse is going to get injured, your war horse is going to get tired. If you're on march, you need to switch horses. So it's expensive to keep a cavalry unit up. Everyone needs more than one horse. So for places historically with very few horses, it's not really feasible to train a cavalry army. And then Asian horses, especially Mongolian horses, tend to be a little bit smaller in size. You might have noticed compared to some of the European breeds, but they are more efficient in terms of long-term travel. Anyhow, this was great. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.